Wait, let me fade the music. I'm fading. Fading the music out.
I believe we are live! Yay! Hi, everybody. This is so exciting. Welcome to PSI, Plus Size Inspiration in the Media. I am Delaney Peace.
And I'm Ann Mahoney, and...
Oh, we have special
I'm
guests.
Andrew Deardahl.
Yes. Yay, Andrew! We're especially excited for our guest tonight, Andrew Deardahl. He is a fashion designer based in Seattle. And even more awesome is that he is Ann's couture designer for a very special occasion next week that we will get into in 1 minute. Right, Ann?
Yes.
Yes. But real quickly, we wanted to talk about, yes, cheers, everybody, quick. Cheers. Ann, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking a wonderful petite Syrah. Andrew, tell me what you're drinking.
I'm drinking Mischief Maker. It's a pomegranate hard cider.
I can see Mischief.
It has a really great kind of image on the label. I love that.
That's really cool. Oh my God. Is that for local or?
Yeah, I believe it's local.
Okay. Nice. I like it. Nice. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's made here in Washington.
Awesome, because that's where Andrew's coming from.
Yes. I have once again failed the alcohol test tonight. So, it is, just like last week, my peach mango juice with a splash of 7-Up and ice cubes. But hey, keeping it classy with the glass, right?
I like it. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, y'all are awesome. And everybody who's watching, thank you. Right now, we all three want to thank you for watching because we appreciate you. And please tweet to us at Plus Size in Media and have questions for us. We want to answer these questions tonight for our show. Real quickly, we wanted to talk about a topic this week that we saw on Cosmopolitan. It's called Why You Can't Hurt These Women by Calling Them Fat. If you have not read this article yet, you got to check it out. My friend Brittany Gibbons is featured on there, and Jess Baker, Militant Baker. Really good article. And Ann, we were already talking about it earlier. Do you want to start with what stood out for you with the article?
Yeah, one of the women talks about having kids and how your body changes when you have kids. And I have 2 kids. My body definitely changed after having them. I don't regret one bit of it. I have stretch marks, and I don't have the teeny tiny waist I used to. And there's this perception that once you have kids, you have to kind of be what you were before you had kids. And to me, I think that's unrealistic, and also I think it doesn't honor the process of what you've done in making people, which is, hey, pretty intense. I made some people.
Yeah,
so,
that's not a small feat at all.
Yeah. So the thing that stood out to me is kind of, it's a very Hollywood thing to like, how soon after someone has a baby can we post a picture of them like they used to be? And I'm like, well, even if they are physically what they used to be, I can tell you that emotionally and spiritually they are not.
Right.
And so for me, I think my outside reflects my inside, and I'm proud of the lives that I've been blessed with bringing into this world. So that stood out to me very much.
Right. I think that it's weird when you say, the Hollywood obsession with baby bumps, and there's a new thing I've noticed that's been happening, or maybe it's not new, but they'll even like applaud someone for looking barely pregnant at 7 months.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "Can you believe that? Isn't that amazing?" And I mean, since when are we ashamed to be a 7 months pregnant woman? Like, you should be like showing that off and proud of your natural curve. I mean, you're having a baby. I don't understand that everyone's like, "Oh, let's applaud that you barely look like you're having one," And it's this bubble over here. I just have more faith in America and our world in general that they understand that a pregnant woman is one of the most beautiful, visions that there is, and I hope that we can celebrate more that as opposed to trying to encourage them to look as slim as possible while carrying a child.
Yeah. What about you, Andrew? Andrew, do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, the thing that I totally agree with you. I actually was married for years and have a daughter of my own, and I'm no longer married. But it was just an amazing process to witness. And yeah, if my wife had been barely showing anything, I would be concerned. That's not healthy for the baby. There was this whole process of how much weight you needed to gain in throughout the pregnancy to kind of, to grow that human. And I think when people are either doing stuff that isn't allowing their body to go through the process that it needs to go to grow that human, that's not healthy for the human either that's growing. So I think too much attention and just kind of negative attention is given to that. People should be able to have their body change the way it needs to change to go through this process. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's a natural thing. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to be applauding something that is like counterproductive to that.
Yeah.
So.
Amen. What did you think about, real quickly, Brittany Gibbons mentioned what she thinks about just the word fat in general, and how she used to be scared of the word fat, and now she uses it as like a description, a point of description, and also for pride. What do you think about the word fat? Like, what do you guys do? You're honest.
I have trouble with it. I'll be honest with you. And I think it's just that for me, I'm not in that place that she's in yet where it doesn't have as much of a negative connotation to me. I love Zoftig. I think Zoftig is very hot. It sounds like, Zoftig to me sounds like you want to get that girl in bed, whereas fat sounds like she might be dumb and she might be lazy. And I know, even though I'm Zoftig, I'm definitely not lazy, nor am I dumb. So that's my feeling.
Right.
Andrew,
well,
how do you think?
I'm not necessarily a fan of the word. I am a big guy myself, and so I occasionally will use it about me as well, and other people will react in kind of an uncomfortable, or they'll be uncomfortable, and so I don't do it a lot. But the thing that I thought was key was how she had to go through the process of kind of changing her mindset to one of being ashamed of herself to being confident, and that made all the difference in how she presented herself. So it was more about how she's carrying herself as she goes out into the world that I think made a big difference. And of course she uses that word as a kind of a badge of honor, and if that's where she is, that's great. But I just thought it was key that she just and that's the thing that I think everybody has to get to that point is that mental switch where you transform from being ashamed of your body type to being proud of who you are in the moment, and not like things will be better once I lose some weight kind of a thing. It's more about embracing who you are now, and going out and buying the clothes that fit you now versus buying something that's a little too small that you want to lose weight to get into.
Yeah,
it's more about just kind of embracing who you are, and then I think that makes all the difference in how you carry yourself and how you present yourself to others. But
I think so too. I think what I liked about what Brittany said with the description point is that if you think about it, if somebody describes somebody else as skinny or thin or long framed or whatever, nobody gets offended. But then if you say fat, it just even the sound of it makes people cringe. But fat it does exist. It doesn't have to be negative. It's just how we say it. And the beauty of our world and just how we change is words take on different meanings as time goes by. You know what I mean? Like, right now, sick is good. People go, that's sick. I'll be like, wait.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, down here in Louisiana, and there might be other southern towns where it is, I can tell you that actually we call girls who are plus size, we call them thick.
Yeah.
You know, I actually like that term. It's like,
Yeah, pretty cool.
you know, it's like she's got some thickness to her as opposed to some thinness. And I will tell you that in the African American community in New Orleans, that often girls are teased for being skinny.
Oh, really?
So it's an interesting thing that sometimes African American girls are given a hard time for being too skinny. Actually, my next door neighbor was teased relentlessly for having no butt and not having more. I'm like, we just need to get together, get our people together, and be like, your people stop being bad about skinny, your people stop being bad about fat. Let's just love each other. But I like the term thick.
Yeah.
Thick to me is like Zoftig. It's a southern Zoftig.
Oh, you guys, I love the word thick. If I go grocery shopping and I want some good bacon, that has to say thick on there. I'm like,
Right.
bacon thick. So,
That's true.
yes, it's good. All right, so moving on. That was a great talk. By the way, everybody listening in, please check out that Cosmopolitan article, Why You Can't Hold These Women by Calling Them That. It's a really good article. Okay, so Andrew, let's get into finding out a little bit more about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, let's see. I'm a designer in Seattle. I have been doing this since about 1993, something like that. So quite a while. And but for me, I've always done my own clients and done a lot of custom design for special occasion, but I've also usually worked as a corporate designer for various companies here in Seattle, whether it be Nordstrom or Eddie Bauer or Tommy Bahama was one that I was at for about 6 years as one of their design directors. So. But it's so I have a lot of design background, but what I really love to do is design for people individually and for different occasions, because that's what really brings me more joy in the process, So.
Nice. Well, that's actually, which leads us to, I was curious, and I'm sure the audience is curious, how did you and Anne find each other to do this collaboration that we're about to talk about? Let's just talk about it. Andy, what is going on next week? I don't think anyone knows.
It's the Walking Dead season 6 premiere at Madison Square Garden. Yeah. When I got invited, the first thing I did was flip out about what I was going to wear. Because I knew about Melissa McCarthy's experience when she was nominated for an Oscar for Bridesmaids, and she couldn't get a designer to design for her. And I just thought, if someone as famous as her can't make this happen, how is it ever going to happen for me? So I spent days, I was looking up designers and kind of trying to get a feel for different people, but everything I saw that was plus size was not designer, and it was a very, very mother of the bride, lots of sequins and a little short cardigan jacket over a long dress down to the ankles. That is just not me.
Who was that?
Right? So I typed in, this is literally what I did in the Google search. I typed in up-and-coming couture designers. Mm-hmm. And I looked at, I want to say hundreds. And Andrews was the one that I immediately responded to. I was like, this is beautiful. And it's edgy. And it goes along with my personality, which is like, yes, I'm a mom of 2, but I love things that are a little on the dark side, a little steampunky. So I have my manager call him, and Andrew, why don't you pick it up from there? I'd love to hear what your end of this was like, because I don't know.
Well, it was a really wonderful surprise, and I had to. It was just kind of out of the blue one day. I get this phone call, and I was driving at the time, so I didn't pick it up. And so he left a message for me, and as soon as I got to my destination, I called right back because I'm like, wow, this sounds interesting. And so once he talked to me about Anne and about the event, it was really a no-brainer for me. First of all, I'm a total geek. I love all sorts of sci-fi, everything. Very familiar with The Walking Dead. I'm a fan, and so that just made it so much better than had somebody called me from, some other show that I didn't care anything about. So it was instantly very interesting. And the other thing, in that initial conversation, he said to me, Anne wanted you to know that she was a plus-size actress, and wanted you to be aware of that up front. I'm like, and I thought in my head, who cares? So I just said, well, that's great. All that means is real people will be able to see what they might look like in this dress when they see it on her. So it's
refreshing.
I thought that was great. And I've done some of these. The type of dress that I'm designing for Anne is something that I've been playing around with this project for quite a few years, but I've never really had the perfect opportunity to make one. I've made them for fashion shows and collections and photo shoots and things like that. I've never really had the opportunity to have somebody wear it in a significant way at a significant event. And so for me, it couldn't have been more perfect, So I think, it just was. Also, the other thing I wanted to add was as I talked to Anne's manager, as well as the follow-up phone call with her. Originally in that first phone call, I just went as he described her, and we talked a little bit about the project. I was like, this is somebody who I would be friends with. This is my kind of people. And so I said, this will be a lot of fun. And so I had to and so then I think I said something similar to that to Anne when I talked to her, and she was saying that her manager had told her, I think you'd be friends with this guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think it was just kind of one of those cool universe things, or as Anne said, a God thing, that kind of put us together. And because I do think that, I don't think I'll walk away from this just being like, oh, that was a great project. I think I found new friends in this, so that part's cool for me. But
that's great. I actually remember Anne and we've known each other since grad school, but we connected through social media. And anytime we would talk outside of the general stuff with Facebook, we would be private messaging each other, and it was always usually about clothes, right, Anne?
Yes,
about finding stuff for the plus size, person, and especially just in the industry, it is really difficult. So I remember Anne had already told me she had spent hours and hours and hours looking for someone who speaks to her spirit, and a designer that would just really get who she is. Just this amazing collaboration, and I was virtually holding her hand, trying to help her. And, we were, oh, God, I'm embarrassed about some of the links I sent her. But out of the blue, she goes, this guy, I just don't know. And, Andrew, I went to your website, and I also immediately fell in love. And especially I think one of your hooks is the parachute, right? You use parachute.
yeah.
And we actually had a question about that. I'll let Anne start, if that's all right.
Yeah, okay. So what was it that first inspired you to decide to design dresses using recycled parachutes?
Well, one of the things that has been part of who I am as a designer for a long time has been trying to have some kind of sustainability in my design. And I actually really love, just in general, the concept of repurposing things into new creations. And so for me, I'm always on the lookout for what's something that I can change that's, you know, been discarded or something, or is past its first use, that I can turn into something new, so it's not ending up in a landfill or something like that. So that's just something, you know, and part of that was an early friendship with somebody I went to school with who really had a heart for sustainability too. A woman named Rebecca Luke, who had started a whole sustainability foundation and would try and promote sustainability in all different kinds of businesses. She's actually now even designing costumes in New York and doing all this. I'm so proud of her. But kind of early on, just getting out of school, and partnering with her on a lot of projects, and I just started really learning more about sustainability and design, and kind of took it to heart. But in general, to me, you know, there's a couple different kinds of designers out there. There's ones that will search out really amazing, beautiful fabrics. You know, some of the fabrics that come out of the mills in Europe are just so beautiful and intricate, and you know, and they're so expensive, and they should be, because they really are amazing. And when you're designing in fabrics like that, usually you're doing something very simple in your design, because really it's all about the fabric and you're showing that off.
Right.
So it's simple design lines. I'm kind of the opposite designer, where I like to take a more simple fabric and do something more intricate with the construction or that kind of thing, and transform something that's more everyday, and make it into something elegant and glamorous, because I consider that a challenge. And the other thing too, as a designer, I really love contrasts. So I didn't really know I was doing this for years, but I had somebody after a fashion show talk to me and say, you know, you really do a lot with contrasts, and you're really into contrasts. And I'm like, huh, I'd never really thought of that, but I guess so, because they started describing from their perspective, and I'm like, I didn't even realize that was what I was actually doing. But
it's your instinct.
Exactly. Right. So in any case, with that, I love the contrast of taking something that's an industrial fabrication like that, and making it into an elegant evening gown. You know, and so for me, I think just in the process of exploring different types of fabrics and products and seeing what I could do with it, I had a fashion show years ago that was celebrating. It was a series of shows celebrating the elements, and the first one was a water show, and you'd think it would be the air one with the parachute, but it was the water one. And I did it all in white did a bunch of designs in white parachutes, and it turned out really beautiful. And so I've been dabbling in it for a while, but like I said, I haven't really had I've used it for a lot of photo shoots and a lot of fashion shows, kind of expressing my point of view, but I haven't really done a lot with it otherwise. So you're kind of the debut of my parachute gowns.
Guinea pig. I like it.
Yeah.
She's the perfect one to debut your I love it. It's so awesome. I was wondering, and that's also a reason why I was attracted to your designs, as well as what someone else had said, that you do have that free flowing, and that it contrasts with, you know, the corset. You know what I mean? Like, a corset is not considered free or flowing at all, and there's such a statement there. But I was wondering, speaking of just the parachutes, what is difficult about using that fabric, working with it, and then what is the most wonderful thing about it?
So I guess one of the most difficult things about using it is that it is slippery. So keeping hold of it as you're working with it, keeping things in place as you're sewing. So you just have to take some precautions with that, and, you know, some extra pinning. basically it's always sliding off the table. Everything's sliding off the table. So you have to have like a weight around to like hold it while you're working on it so it doesn't like pull off the table. But it's just tends to get away from you, and I think that's really frustrating for some designers. I've just kind of gotten used to it, so you do a few things differently, but that's probably the most difficult thing. That, and you're also using a product it's a fabric that's been constructed into something else previously, so there's existing seams throughout the parachute that you have to incorporate into your design as well, because otherwise there's not going to be big enough panels to do the skirts and things like that. So, but I think that's one of the coolest things about this. You're incorporating those seams that came with the original product, so it's incorporating some of the history of what that was, and kind of tying into that. And the other thing that I love about it is incorporate along the edge of the parachute, at every connection point where a cord would attach, there's a number stenciled on the fabric.
Really?
In black or blue or something like that, and then at some point there's a block of words with serial numbers and the date it was decommissioned, things like that. And just working those into the design also is really fun, and I think kind of further has that little bit of industry or industrial feel to it. And then I always like to use like the outer edge of the parachute for the hem of a garment, so that you've got that detail that you're celebrating, in this design, and using that as a cool feature. And then I was like leaving a little bit of the cord that was attached, like a couple inches of the cord or something sticking down, so that you see, like, it's almost like she parachuted into the event and then pulled it all into a gown and then walked right in. I can see it. It probably would have been one of the Charlie's Angels movies, but it was, yeah, definitely. But and then as far as one of the things that I really like about working with this fabric is it's designed to catch air, so it's. And so it really makes for a wonderful, very dramatic, flowing fabric, So as somebody walks and the skirt picks up a breeze, it definitely floats and moves. And, I mean, it was designed for that in its original purpose. So I think that's a really wonderful thing. And I think... Yeah, I always like to use the word like diaphanous with that.
I love
kind of
that word.
Yeah. My other favorite word is liquefaction, but that's a little more drapier. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Well, I mean, I'm just fascinated by all of this, and thank you so much. And I'm sure the audience is also completely hooked on this, because my only experience, Andrew, with my generation in parachutes is gym class. When all the kids went around the parachute, and we would lift it up, we'd strip it off, and then we'd go under it, and it would come down. Like, did you guys? That's it. That's all I know about these parachutes.
Yeah, we did that in class. Yeah. We also did the thing where everybody got around the edge and held onto it, and they threw a ball in the middle, and you had to like sit there and shake it and try and knock the ball off the other side.
Yeah.
But the best thing was going under and sitting on it and letting it float down like you're in a big balloon.
So, I mean, back then, were you like, someday I'll be making...
No, I had no idea.
We actually had a couple questions from people related to this that actually go along with what my next question for you was, so I'm going to do this. So, there's someone, it's Ciao Michela.
Love her.
She's asking, was two things. Basically, why did you decide to design for me? And two, what was the process like with us deciding what to do with the dress, which dress to do and what the design would be?
Sure. So, well, like we described earlier, when Anne approached me, and it was not. There was no decision, really. It was I have to do this.
Yeah.
Because one, you're just so cool, and it was just like, how can I say no to this? This will be so much fun. And so for me, there was no weighing the different possibilities or decision-making process. It was, I hope that they let me do this for them. So in my mind, I was thinking, so we had our initial talk, and then I told Anne, the next step will be, I said, I'm totally interested. The next step will be I'll do some sketches, and I'll send you some sketches, and you can see if we can figure out, if there's something that works. So the whole time between the time that I talked with you and sent you sketches, in my mind I was thinking it wasn't a done deal. I was like, because he might not like my sketches or something, or it might not be the right fit, kind of thing. So I'm like, I really won't be able to count this. I was excited about it, but I'm like, I really won't be able to count this as this is a booked project until I get the okay from Anne that she likes one of the designs. So as it was, it also, like things in life often happen, it came right in the middle of a whole bunch of other busyness and projects that I was in the middle of. I was actually just about ready to leave for Burning Man. And, so it's kind of, and I was in a theme camp that I was on the steering committee, so it was like I had a lot of jobs there to do for our camp, and so I was kind of like, well, I can't really blow that off, but I don't want to blow this off, and I've got to find a way to make it work for both. And so I really kind of the day before I left on my trip, I finished up some sketches, took photos of them with my phone, and texted them to Anne, and she replied right away that number one was the one she liked, and so then we kind of talked about a couple of other little tweaks to the design and whether we could do this detail or that detail with it, which I'm not saying yet, so because we want to still be a surprise and all that. But so with that, we went ahead and I made a couple of changes to the sketches and sent it back to her. But from that point on, I went off on my trip like totally excited, but not really able to talk about it, which is the hard part.
Right?
But yeah, exactly.
Not being able to talk about it. Okay, this is going to be the hard one. What should we look for on the red carpet? This is Anne's first major red carpet. So what should we look for from you without giving it away? I mean, how are we going to do this?
So, what we're going to look for is somebody who, it's going to be dramatic. First of all, the silhouette of the dress is dramatic. And so, as you can probably imagine, there'll be some movement in the skirt, as we've kind of talked about that. But also, with the other things that Anne's paired with this, both in shoe, jewelry, and hair and makeup, I think she's going to be really fierce and strong in this. I think the image is going to be powerful. So the whole thing, head to toe, it gives off kind of, I think, a good sense of, her quirky style and everything, and just kind of, it's gorgeous, but it's got some attitude, and I think even a little sense of humor as well, and a nod to who she is on the show as well. So I think that's just this extra piece of it that you don't normally get with red carpet dresses.
Well, and her fans are going to really appreciate that.
I think so.
I mean,
I think she's going to kind of kick ass. So.
She's ready to go in case that apocalypse happens at the Madison Square Garden.
Exactly.
Which is known to happen there.
I mean, Anne could easily accessorize this gown with a machine gun.
Yeah.
So, it works great for her weapons background on the show.
Her machine gun in one hand and her petite Syrah in the other.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yes, I love it. All right. Well, real quickly, and oh, by the way, Andrew, we'll have to talk later. For another segment, I have a red carpet coming up soon as well. For the it's going to be at the Nokia Theater in Hollywood. It's the Geeky Awards with Kevin Smith. So
Cool.
maybe your dress would be good there too. We'll see. We will keep.
Maybe you could wear my dress. We're like basically the same size.
It's the traveling plus size dress. This is how it works.
Sisterhood of the traveling dress.
That's what I was just gonna say.
I think everybody should have their own, honestly.
I love it. Oh my God. Well, hopefully one day that we will make that happen soon. And now that we're to the part where we have to really quickly give a shout out to the after party designer for Anne.
Yes. So, okay, now I have to remember how to say it. Eloquy is sending me. Actually, I posted a tweet about it. They're sending me this beautiful graphic design little dress and an OB belt to wear for the after party, so I don't drag Andrew's magnificent dress through an Irish pub and get it soaked in beer, which is what I would do, and I would never forgive myself. So, Eloquy, thank you, and I'm going to be tweeting about that and sending pictures as well as all the pictures of Andrew's stuff.
Yes. Plus size shout out to Eloquy. We love you. We've already been fans of you for a long time, and thank you so much for this collaboration to make Anne's night.
Oh, yeah, and Eloquy, if you want some really edgy steampunky design, Andrew Deerdahl's your guy.
Yes, he really is. Everybody follow Andrew on Twitter. We're all in the loop with him. So very quickly, we're going to take a couple minutes. We have time for a few questions from the audience. So please tweet in to +size_in_media, and we will ask a couple of questions right now. Right before we get to that, we do have a quote of the week. Actually, it's a quote from last week. We are shouting out to Missy Ann. We see you out there, Missy Ann, and we appreciate you. Ann, would you like to talk about the quote of the week from last week?
Yeah, and you asked me if I know this person, and in the time that we've been talking, I was like, oh, she's on I have this group of Olivia's supporters, like people who are really interested in what kind of happens with Olivia on The Walking Dead, and she's one of them, I just realized.
Oh.
So this is what she wrote, and I think it's wonderful. We have been programmed to think that skinny is it. I have been skinny when I was younger, and now I'm plus size. I know I catch myself being negative about myself as far as my body goes, but I'm always supportive of everyone else. I'm a very positive person, but I have the same problems about when I talk to myself. We are all beautiful. Too many times people are standing in line to throw out negatives at each other, and we really need to change. Me personally, I like to lift people's spirits, not knock them down. Right? So now you just knock yourself down, Missy.
Well said. Missy Ann, we appreciate that, and we did quote it, and thank you. And I hope that a lot of people out there hear that. And this goes into sync with what we were talking about last week anyway. Let's all support each other. Why in the world, why would we want to knock each other down? It just doesn't even make sense. So I'm just so grateful for all these amazing women out there supporting each other. So I do see a question here. Let's see. This says, do actresses face higher rates of postpartum depression? Pressure to go back to the pre-baby body.
Wow. Well,
Anne, I think you can answer that more than I can. I can tell you my friend's perspective, but Anne is a mother. What do you think, Anne?
You know, it's I'm not sure. I can't really scientifically answer that because I don't really scientifically know. I can say that I put a lot of pressure on myself right after I had my first child to get back. And getting back for me was getting back to like a size 12. 12 is my tiny, you know. But I did put a lot of pressure on myself. And there's enough, especially with your first baby, it's such a crazy transition, as you know, Andrew, too. It's such a crazy transition in your life. No matter what a giving person you are, it is a complete change in your priorities and your time and how you manage it. And it's hard enough without also trying to diet and exercise. And I breastfed both my, not ashamed of my boobies. I breastfed both of my children. My son I breastfed for almost 2 years. My daughter for a year and change. I was still breastfeeding her when I started on Walking Dead. And so, and when I'm breastfeeding, I actually retain weight. I'm the opposite. Some women, when they breastfeed, they lose weight. I retain. So since I've had her, I've lost some weight, but I don't really care. All that is to say, like with the second baby, I really was like, you know what? I'm a mom, and I'm feeding my baby. And, you know, yeah. But I could see how it would make someone really depressed if they felt like they had to look like what they were before they made people.
Well, and I mean, I can't speak from the parent perspective at all, but I can tell you, you know, Hollywood, people talk about their looks all day, it's 24/7, and just even what they're eating, it's insane. Like, oh no, I feel like I gained, you know, 50 ounces today, so now tomorrow I'm going to starve myself until, I mean, it's just this weird thing. And you know, we've got, on one hand, we have a lot of healthy, just everybody's talking healthy and health, and I get it, but if you take it to the other extreme, you know, there's cleanses that are taken to the extreme out here, and there's starvation diets, and it's
smoking and taking drugs and all kinds of things people do to stay skinny.
Totally, and I mean, I've even had to find my own balance as well. To be honest with you, this is a weird thing that I don't usually share publicly, but I've rebelled against the skinny actresses in the past, which has made me eat more. And I'm like, Delaney, you're eating, in your head you think you're eating to prove a point, but all you're doing is also making yourself unhealthy. So there's a happy medium.
Yeah.
We can all eat for, you know, health reasons, and not one person's trying to be skinny and the other person's trying to prove that she doesn't have to be skinny. I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah, crazy. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if we have any more questions. I was trying to look at my phone at the same time talking, but I think that might be it for now, right?
Yes.
Well, I saw one more that I could add a little to.
Oh,
this one, the question, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the name. You said it earlier.
Is it Chow? Is it
yes.
Chow?
And her question was, did Anne or Andrew have a definite idea from the get-go, or did the design process flow organically? And one of the things that was interesting for that, and I think I tried to communicate this to Anne a little bit when I sent the sketches, but you know, when we first initially talked, we kind of talked a little bit about just what some of my designs that Anne responded to, but also about the fact that she didn't really like to, she wouldn't expect me to get up on the stage and do something, you know, because that wasn't my thing, and so she's like, I don't want to interfere in your process either.
Yeah.
So basically, she kind of just, you know, we talked about some things that she liked, and then I was going to go away and just kind of pitch some ideas. I didn't know if we would hit things right away, or if we'd go back and forth a bunch. As it turned out, we kind of hit it right off. But the thing for me, as I considered, you know, I'm like, well, I've got to pitch her at least one parachute dress, because I think that would be so cool for her. But I was thinking, you know, it'd be good to give a little variety of ideas. But the more and more that I considered what I was going to do and what kind of styles I wanted to present, or fabrics, I just kept coming back to the parachute, the attitude, and it just felt right. And so for me, it was, I kind of abandoned the other ideas and just did a few, you know, a couple of dress designs in that fabric, and just to kind of even see if that was something she would go for. And that's where we went, you know. So it was a very nice fit. But as I was considering Anne and the event and just what I knew about her so far, I just kept coming back to that. That was what, something just kept speaking to me, that this is what I love for her. So anyway, that's kind of how that came about in that beginning process. So.
Great answer, Andrew, and thank you so much. I think I agree with both of you. God, the universe, just all of it. that this was meant to be, and I feel that everyone's world has been opened from knowing each other, and that's what it's all about. We all have this connection now, and I really appreciate. Thank you for helping my friend. She is so happy. You took a load off of her shoulders, and it's just, you know, I kind of got a baby bit of an idea of maybe what this dress is looking like. I can't wait to see the real when it happens. I am on pins and needles about this dress. So, but that.
Okay, so am I.
Say what?
So am I, literally.
I love a good pun.
Yeah.
Follow
Needles and scissors.
Yeah, he's got scissors ready. Non-stop worker. That's what we love. Everybody follow Andrew on Twitter so you can keep in touch with him while he's in New York at the premiere with Anne. And on that note, we are actually going to have to wrap. This has been amazing. Please, everybody, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter, Plus Size and Media. Give us comments, and we will retweet out to you. We will follow you. Andrew, please follow Andrew. As you can see, he's this amazing one-of-a-kind fashion designer in Seattle. He would appreciate the love, and Anne and I appreciate all of you. And we will close with, I love Anne's little thing that she wants us to do, which is something concerning a rubber band.
Like, yeah, well, Delaney mentioned on our last thing, which is just, there's two things. So choose what you want to do. Delaney was saying, putting a rubber band around your wrist, and every time you say something awful to yourself, snap it and see how you feel by the end of the day. and redirect it. Go snap. All right, I'm going to redirect that. For me, I was like, what if you put a tiny rock? Hey, I see that, Andrew. Put like a tiny rock in your shoe.
Yeah.
Not a big one that's going to hurt you, but just one day, a little one, and every time you feel it, kind of say something lovely to yourself about yourself.
Yes.
See how you feel at the end of the day.
Yes. I love that.
But you'll feel better.
I like that. That's so much better than just talking horribly to yourself all day. Just keep talking yourself up. That's a great idea. So on that note, everybody cheers. I've got a little left of my drink. I don't know how much y'all have.
I still got some.
Y'all, Anne wins again. She clears that glass so well by the end of the hour. I love it. Oh my gosh. All right. We will see you all next.
22 ounces.
Yeah, right? I know. Gosh. Woo, it's a lot. Thank you so much, everybody. Great dance music intro. Excellent.
Oh, yeah, I got to do the music. Here we go. Wait, hold on. Here we go. Play. Wait, here we go. Keep her dancing.